Stories help the mind to travel miles, see places, and gain new experiences. At Joave Media, we tell your stories in the most brilliant way using state of the art equipment. Our range of services include documentaries, TV commercials, TV series, movie productions, television production, photography, music videos, drone services, graphics design, and many more. Contact us on 024 760 3028 or email joavemedia@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Joave Media will deliver your desire.
Alright, what's up people out there? What's up GH? What's up Africa? And what's up the world? It's your boy Ricky Fem and it's the test. Yeah, finally, I am here to tell you that within the apartment, yeah, I know you've waited for so long and you've been wondering when I will show you within the apartment. I'm here to break the good news to you that within the apartment is showing on Joe Eve TV online on the 19th of September 2020. You don't want to get it twisted, you don't want to miss it for anything. And one most important thing about this is that you get to be part of the show because there's going to be in-depth studio interactions within the apartment is showing on the 19th of September 2020, exactly 3 p.m. Yeah, 3 p.m. on the dot. So, Joe Eve TV online. You don't want to get it twisted, you don't want to miss it. Charlie, if you miss out, wait till you get. You got to make it time and watch within the apartment.
Welcome viewers, and if you are tuned in, you are tuned into the Father's Lounge, and on this show I always say we inspire men onto responsible fatherhood. Today we are going to talk about an interesting topic. As fathers, most of the time we are busy chasing money, we are busy making resources available for the family, to keep all of us going. And so more often than not, we forget about our health. Yes, our health. So in as much as we are chasing money, in as much as we are running around, waking up very early, most of us don't even see our kids wake up. We come back from work and they are asleep. So very few or very little time to even interact with the children or even with our wives. So today we want to take a look at our health as part of the series in living lifestyle of parents or lifestyle of a father. Today we are taking a look at lifestyle of a father in relation to health. And to do that with us, today I have with me a friend, a colleague, in fact, and a schoolmate back from school. And it's interesting how time flies, and all too soon, very soon, everybody has found his way, everybody has found his niche, people are working in all sorts of places. And I have this friend of mine back from school, a doctor now, he's a resident at the internal medicine department at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Our guest today, viewers, is Dr. Victor Ekem. Doctor, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Charlie, how been? Charlie, it's been a long time, eh?
I'm fine, by His grace. I think it's over 10 years now.
Over 10 years now, and it's interesting how time flies.
Yeah, time flies.
I'm just taking my mind back to school. Remembering some of the things we're doing in school. And today, seeing you, I'm like, oh my goodness.
It's all by the grace of God.
We just thank God. Do you remember some of the funny things back in school?
I remember a lot, but I'll talk about it later.
Later. All right. Today we want to take a look at health. The health styles or living healthily. So, in your view, in your field, what do you think makes up for living healthily as a father?
Before I go on, I must say thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Always welcome.
Because anytime I get the opportunity to share healthy tips, I'm very happy. And I must applaud you for what you are doing because it's going to help a lot of people. people, not just fathers.
The applause goes to all the crew members. Charlie guys, the applause goes to us.
So I'll
Thank you.
paraphrase the definition of health by the WHO and also add a
Okay.
few of my own
Alright.
words to it. So according to the WHO, which is paraphrased as I mentioned,
Okay.
health is not just the absence of disease, but it is complete well-being in every way, in the physical sense,
Okay.
in the mental sense, in the spiritual sense as
Okay.
well. So all this encompasses health. So if you only look at health in the light of disease, which is more of the physical sense, you are wrong. You also have to think about the mental, you have to think about the spiritual. So all these come together to constitute a healthy lifestyle.
Okay. So it's not just about the physical that we see.
No,
It has other components that ensures that when we're talking about
Exactly.
someone's health,
exactly.
it's a whole package.
It's a whole package. So
Okay.
that's what I want the US to know from the
Alright.
very beginning.
Okay.
Look at it holistically.
Okay.
But since I'm a medic and
Mhm.
work in the
Mhm.
hospital, I'll focus more on the physical aspect.
That's sure.
Yes. Before I go on as well, I'll say that, as we all know, prevention is better than cure.
Sure.
Unfortunately, a number of us will end up having some of these health challenges.
Mhm.
It's not the end of the world.
Okay.
But as much as possible, if you adopt lifestyles to
Mhm.
prevent some of these, which I'll call lifestyle diseases, from coming, that's the best possible option.
The prevention is better.
And prevention is better.
Look, how easy at times we always say prevention is better than cure, but how easy is it to prevent some of these things?
Yeah, I must admit it's not easy,
Mm.
especially with the modern man, if I should
Mhm.
say, our modern lifestyle. It's not like in times past where you wake up, you have to go to the farm, you're
Mhm.
active, you're digging the ground. Now we are doing more white collar jobs and sitting in our cars in the air conditioner,
Sitting for long
going
hours.
to the office, sitting for long hours.
Your eyes are gazing.
You get
onto
back
the-
home around 9, 10, straight to
Ah.
bed, find something to eat, and then the cycle continues.
Mm.
This isn't a healthy cycle.
like a roller coaster.
Continues going. So
Mm.
these are some of the things which, fortunately, unfortunately, have come to stay. It doesn't mean you cannot do anything about it.
About it. Okay.
It takes a lot of discipline.
Mm.
The primary lifestyle diseases that are affecting us, not just men,
Okay.
there are a lot of them, but I'll primarily focus on this discussion on hypertension and
Alright.
diabetes.
Diabetes. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. So if you are looking at diabetes, or okay, let's start with hypertension. What is hypertension?
So hypertension in tree, you see what I'm going for.
I hear that a lot.
Yes.
Does it mean suddenly your blood has increased or what?
So that's a good question to start with.
Mhm.
So technically, no, that's not what it means.
It doesn't mean that.
It doesn't mean that.
Viewers, if you hear Mujabroswo, which is how we call hypertension in our Twi language, okay, it doesn't mean that you have suddenly your blood has suddenly increased than the normal. So let's hear Doc more. All right.
There are detailed definitions for hypertension
Okay.
according to different, should I say, areas. The Americans and Europeans differ a little bit. But I would say that hypertension, the definition of hypertension is scientific.
Okay.
So it takes readings with a machine that can check your BP, which is called a sphygmomanometer. Don't worry about it. But a BP machine.
Okay. Is that what you normally mean? The short is Sphig, call it
Say
Sphig?
sphig, yeah, a lot of people just say
Oh,
sphig.
okay,
sphig.
okay. My wife happens to be a nurse.
Oh,
So I tend to hear some of these things, and she always mentions all of these big words into my ears. I'm like, come on.
yeah.
But maybe it's good she does that, because I've heard it again here. Okay. So
So-
that's the BP, the machine,
The BP machine.
BP
The
machine.
BP
the
machine.
one when you go to the hospital, they put on your
Exactly,
arm
put
to
on
check
arm
your
to check your
blood pressure. Okay.
So without having a reading, you cannot say, let's put it this way, without having somebody check your BP to know whether it's high or not, you cannot say someone has hypertension. There are specific cutoff values
Okay.
to say someone has hypertension.
Okay.
And to make things easy to remember, let's say a cutoff of 140 over 90.
140 over 90.
Yes,
Okay.
but I can just throw these figures out there and it means nothing,
Nothing
if
to
someone doesn't understand what
understand.
hypertension is. So I'll
Okay.
try and explain it a little bit.
Okay.
I believe all of us did a little bit of science from the primary
Yes.
level.
Integrated science,
Integrated,
agriculture.
exactly.
Which of the sciences anyway?
Exactly.
Agric science or any science goes for now.
Well, integrated science should
Okay.
cover.
All right.
So remember, there's an organ in the body called the heart,
Sure.
which I'm sure you're a good student, so I know you remember.
Yes.
And the heart is, let's say, the pump of the body.
Mm.
Now, you can just liken it to a water system.
Okay.
The pump pumps blood throughout the body, and this blood is pumped through channels,
Channels. Okay.
which we call arteries.
Arteries.
So that serves all the organs of our body, the brain, the liver, the kidneys, the
Mhm.
skin.
Mm-hmm.
And after the blood has done the work it's supposed to do,
Mm.
it is returned through another set of tubes called the veins
Okay.
back to the heart.
So the arteries carries the blood from the heart to every part of the body,
Part of the body
and then it returns through the veins
back to the
back
heart
to the heart.
to make things
Okay.
simple.
Viewers, we are learning now. Okay.
To make things simple. So the blood pressure recording we get actually is a reflection of the pressure that is going through these systems.
Okay.
So that is what the blood pressure is.
Okay.
So it's not, as people say, mojambro, so, but it's a reflection of the pressure in the channels that are carrying the blood. So that is what blood pressure is. So when the pressure in these channels is high, then we say the person has a high blood pressure with the cutoff values that I gave as an example.
Okay.
Sometimes someone will go to the hospital, they'll check his BP for the first time, and then it's high.
Mm.
That doesn't necessarily mean that the person has high blood pressure. Some people go to the hospital, and some people are so scared to go to the hospital. You have to move everything to get them to go to the hospital, and by the time they get there, they are anxious.
Mm.
So
that alone.
that alone can raise your blood pressure. So we don't just use one reading to say someone has a high blood pressure. There are a number of things you need to put into consideration before you label someone as having a high blood pressure.
Okay. So with this one, since in our local dialect, I mean, we normally say that is mojabroswo. Is there any instance where the blood becomes, I mean, we get more blood in the system than we expect, or it's a deficiency we have in our language, that is why we are calling it mojabroswo?
Well, I don't know the etymology of the tree word, but I think to some extent it's the word gives them a good and fairly good understanding of the disease.
Okay.
So when somebody hears mojambro, so they have a fair idea.
Okay.
They just need someone more technical, like a nurse or a doctor, to
Okay.
explain further,
Okay.
so that they are not taken advantage of by people who give wrong information,
Okay.
as I've done today.
All right.
So I think it's a fairly good way to give them an idea,
Okay.
but it's not 100% the case. There are a few medical conditions where technically people can have more blood,
More blood.
but it's fairly rare. It's not.
Okay.
It's
Is there any name, any term?
I wouldn't want to go involve viewers with that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
there are certain conditions.
There are conditions, so it's not a
hematological
norm.
conditions. It's not normal.
Okay.
It's not normal.
Okay. So if anybody has typical mojambroso, then it means it's a condition the person has.
It's a condition a person
Okay.
has.
But the normal one is you wouldn't really expect people's blood to really increase more than normal.
More than normal. There are specific ranges. Everything has a range.
Okay.
There's no, should I say, black and white.
Okay.
So everything falls within a range.
Okay. So
Since
need
you asked,
ev-
let me give you an example.
All right.
So in what we call high altitude areas,
Okay.
so people who live in mountains, I don't know about Ghana, if you have people living at a very high, but let's say in Kenya,
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard about the long distance runners.
Sure,
You know that they
sure.
do very well.
Yes. I
So
remember Gabriel Selassie and
Yes.
the likes.
So you
yes.
notice that they all come from areas where
Mhm.
they are a bit mountainous.
Mm.
So one of the physiological adaptations and advantages they have is that living at such an altitude,
Mhm.
the higher you go, there's less of what we call oxygen in the air.
In the air.
Now, in the blood, one of the components that makes the blood red is what we call red blood cells. Now, these red blood cells carry oxygen around.
Okay.
When you're in an area that is, should I say, deficient in oxygen,
Mhm.
it makes sense that you produce more red
Red
cells
cells.
so that you can carry the little oxygen that is available to the lungs to give you the oxygen you need to do whatever you need to do. So they have an advantage. So you can say they have mojambroso to some extent. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
exactly the same thing, but
Okay.
it's a physiological advantage that they have.
So when they come into lower altitudes,
Then I'm sure you've heard about the stories of Bolivia and Brazil. When they go to Bolivia, they can't play, but when they come down,
exactly.
yes. So these are
Oh,
some of the
okay.
things, and there's some other pathology. There are some other sicknesses where
Okay.
people have very high red cells.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
So does it interpret into if you want to do well at the athletics, it's better to train in such areas?
Some people actually do that,
Okay.
and there are some people who actually, should I say, they call them drug cheats. There's a medication which can increase. I don't know if you've heard about Lance Armstrong, the cyclist, some years ago,
Okay.
who eventually was, should I say, disgraced. But he was doping, what they call doping.
Doping, yes.
So there's a chemical in the blood,
Mm-hmm.
naturally produced by the kidneys, which can increase your red cell mass so that you can be more athletic than your colleagues. You can go for longer. So he was using these chemicals to increase his blood level.
Okay.
And some people actually get transfusions to cheat.
Oh, so doping.
These are one of the ways of doping.
Oh, okay.
You know,
So they do that to
one
increase
can-
their red blood cells so that
That's
they can
one
perform
way they can perform
better.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Viewers, we are learning, eh?
It's just by the way.
We are learning. So, Doc, what really causes this hypertension?
Another big question. Hypertension in the past, they called it one of the main cause of hypertension worldwide, essential hypertension or primary hypertension, which means that for the most part, we don't know what causes it.
Wow.
Hypertension in particular.
Okay.
A few people, or a less percentage of people have what we call secondary hypertension,
Okay.
where you can pinpoint a particular cause.
Okay.
So most people have essential hypertension.
Okay.
When it comes down to the exact causes of essential hypertension, most are linked with genetics.
Okay.
So you realize that a lot of people with hypertension have a strong positive family history of hypertension. Their father is hypertensive, their mother is hypertensive, grandparents, aunties,
Auntie
uncle.
and uncle somewhere.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you are within that category, you need to take extra care. Although there's the genetic predisposition, there's still something you can do about it. It doesn't mean that you should fold your arms and say, "Oh, it's in the family, so
Okay.
let's."
So the fact that someone has it in your family doesn't mean automatically you
It
will
does
also
not
get
mean
it.
exactly.
You have control
You
over
have
it.
control to some
Okay.
extent. You have control, and that is why I'm here. That's why we're here to have
Okay.
the discussion.
Okay.
With secondary hypertension, there are pinpoint causes you can lay a finger on, and then with those causes, if you're able to identify the cause, you can do something about it early and then reverse the hypertension.
Okay. So hold on with that. For the ones that we can do something about it.
We can do something about all of them.
About all of
We
them.
can do something about all of them.
All
But I
of
just
them.
wanted to highlight that in secondary, there's a specific cause
Of course.
that we can target.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Then we'll be going for our first commercial break. When we come back, we touch on that one. Viewers, if you've tuned in, you're watching The Father's Lounge. And on this show, we inspire men onto responsible fatherhood. One of the ways we can be responsible as a father is by taking care of your health. We'll be right back after this break.
5 young students from different backgrounds find themselves in one apartment and try to live together regardless of their differences. The more they tend to get closer to each other, the more they end up apart. Watch the fun, suspense, surprise, and hilarious moments these mates go through, coupled with the presence of a divalicious house cleaner in the movie Within the Apartment.
We demarcate spaces in this living room. Actually, we all pay the same amount of rent in this house.
Christy, for God's sake, this is not a compound house. This is an apartment.
If you want me to respect you in this apartment, you've got to watch your work.
If you don't know me, go ask people for me about me. Chris, I go call you. Take your time. Ni obìnrin in buhe. Quiet. Coffee man shibu. Man jotwe. Because you know I be a chokom. You want be a bukwemi, eh? Yeah, that's someone no be. Christy paid me to act as if I'm dating her.
Within the Apartment.
And the manager did not tell me he placed you in charge to hold such meetings.
Someone even kidnapped Doreen, and he wants me dead.
Cut it, please, Christy! Who the hell are you? Where is my sister? Where is my sister? You two shut up. What did they worry you? What did they worry you? because of a glamorous lifestyle, fine earrings. Though I like the earrings, though, but the officer, I've always suspected he does something else to get money.
Excuse me, young lady.
Please, sir, I'm not a lady, I'm a young man.
Okay, which social media are you on?
I use mobile money.
Regarde-moi ce gars.
What is he looking at? Ah, my chest.
You came to rent a single room self-contained and not an apartment.
We're watching football and you just came and change the channel. Can't you wait for us to finish watching so you watch whatever you want to watch?
It's total madness to see some guys cry because their ladies are dating different guys. Such ladies don't deserve your tears. Let her go.
It is not me, oh. It is Charity. She called me that Honor here is making out with someone.
Beautiful nonsense.
Within the apartment.
Coming soon on Joev TV Online. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Welcome back from that commercial break, and you are still watching the Father's Lounge, where we inspire men onto responsible fatherhood. Let me tell you this. I've been saying this and I'll continue to say it. If you're doing any form of business and you are not going out there to get your viewers to know what you are doing, you are just like that gentleman who is winking at a lady in the dark. He thinks she sees him, but she doesn't. Only he knows what he's doing. You are there selling. You think everybody sees it, but nobody knows. Come to Joev Media. Let's help you out. Let's get your products to your customers. Because at Joev Media, we deliver your desire. So if you want to do anything that has to do with radio or TV, come to Joev Media. We'll deliver your desire. So now, let's go back to Doc for him to continue with his submission on the primary hypertension, secondary hypertension. Doc, we are back from the commercial break. So you were talking about secondary, primary hypertension, and you mentioned that we could actually do something about all of them. Yeah, you can continue with that one.
Okay, so for make things simple, let's just say hypertension for now.
Okay.
I don't want the viewers to be confused.
Okay.
So with hypertension, some of the symptoms people may come with headaches, recurrent headaches.
Not just headaches, but recurrent headaches.
They get headaches here and there. Some say they are not feeling well, and unfortunately, some come with some of the complications of hypertension even before it is discovered.
Meaning it's advanced.
It's advanced and has caused problems.
Whoa.
And then before we discover that they have hypertension. And that's the unfortunate.
Does that really happen? I mean, after going, you don't get to see the symptoms, or it just blows up.
Exactly. And that's why hypertension is dangerous, because a lot of people don't know that they have a high blood pressure.
That's a silent killer.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. So that's why it is important to check your blood, especially if you have a strong family history of hypertension.
Wow.
It's important to check your blood pressure from time to time.
So it means many of us are walking out there.
Many of us.
We are sitting on time bombs.
Many of us. A large percentage of us.
Wow.
That's the truth. A large percentage. So it's important that we do something about it before we get the complications, which I'll talk about later. Now, what can be done about it?
Okay.
You've gone to the hospital, or they came to organize a screening at your company or something, they found that your blood pressure was high. The readings have been consistently high.
Okay.
Then you have been told that now you have hypertension.
Okay.
Most of the time, before we put anybody on medications, or the general approach to the management of most conditions are two. We call it the non-pharmacological before the pharmacological.
Okay.
In simple terms, without medicine and then with medicine.
Oh, Doc. Without medicine or with medicine, why you no bro non-pharmacological the pharmacological. You continue.
Okay. So my main focus here is on the non-pharmacological, which includes the lifestyle changes that are important.
Okay. So this one you're not really using medication.
No.
Okay.
Most people may require medication later on, but you can manage it with lifestyle changes alone. Some people are on lifestyle modifications alone. Lifestyle modifications include avoiding a sedentary lifestyle. Sedentary means you are sitting down all the time, sitting down in your car, sitting down in your office, sitting down at home.
For long hours.
Lying, sleeping, and then the cycle continues.
Oh, okay.
So you need to avoid that.
Okay.
Be more active. Even if I admit a lot of people are doing office work, it is difficult for them to say they are getting up. My doctor said I should avoid the sedentary lifestyle, so please, manager, I'm getting up. They will sack you before you know.
Sure.
What you can do at least is while you're at work, after 30 minutes of sitting, just get up, take a stroll up and down, and then sit down again, because you may not be able to go out and take a walk.
I think it will even be a very good opportunity to probably walk to a different department,
And
say hi to someone,
exactly, meet a new
interact
person.
somewhere with
You never know,
people.
it will open new doors.
Sure.
So these are the little things we can do in terms of that.
So simply we should avoid sitting for long hours.
That is being a lazy person.
A lazy person.
Yes.
I mean, if you don't really have something to do, but make it intentional.
So let's say instead of your leisure time, you want to watch a 2-hour movie.
Okay.
Say I want to take a walk with my wife. I want to take a walk with my children.
Look, I like that one. You see, a lot of the fathers, a lot of the men out there are not spending time with the family. And I mean, with the excuse that I'm working, I'm making money, and before you realize he's sick and it's hypertension. So we can actually psych ourselves to get out of this system by taking these kind of walks.
Exactly.
And our wives will like it, Doctor, you're talking for them. Our wives will hear, okay, we'll take walks with you now, alright? Okay.
So instead of watching movies, do something more active.
Okay.
And a lot of people talk about going to the gym, which is very good. If you can afford the gym, I wouldn't say do not go to the gym. If you can afford to go swimming, I wouldn't say.
Doc, which type of gym?
So I'll come to that.
Every gym is gym.
Well, I'll say every gym is a gym. I don't know any other type of gym. But
every gym with a meta. We have gyms and we have gyms.
We have gyms. Okay, I know why you're coming from.
We have gyms and we have gyms. So which one? Is it the one with the air conditioning, with the treadmill, or
Let
the
me
one
qualify. Go somewhere where you get the appropriate training.
Okay.
Let me qualify it by saying that.
Okay.
But even on this word, this matter of the gym,
Mm-hmm.
if you realize our demographic in Ghana, a number of people may not be able to afford a gym subscription.
Mm-hmm.
So personally,
I hear it's quite expensive.
It can be expensive depending on the class of the gym.
Yeah.
The advice I give to a number of my patients is you don't need to go to the gym if you cannot afford it.
Okay.
Just walk briskly around your compound.
Okay.
30 minutes walk is sufficient. If you can do it every day, that's excellent.
So you can walk from one end of the compound to the other, back and forth.
Do it with your wife, do it with your children, do it with whoever is in the house, and you see what will come out of it.
Okay.
Not everybody has to go to the gym. Apart from that, as we age, our joints are aging, our bones are aging. You go to the gym, you go and try something new, you end up with a new problem.
And
then
that
you
is the whole issue.
Then you can't even do your walks anymore. So I'm not saying the gym is not good, but do what is within your power. Everybody can walk around compound. So this in terms of sedentary lifestyle.
Sedentary lifestyle, okay.
Then diet.
Okay.
If you go back to how we used to eat before, that would be good. If you look at the recommendation, they say there's something called the Mediterranean diet and all that. But who knows the Mediterranean diet?
Diet is diet. That's what we know.
So let's go back to what we were used to. The natural greens, less of the oils, less of the salt. Yes,
get your contumely, get your gardeners.
Exactly, because people listen on the radio, they say you have to buy this food, you have to buy this vegetable, also very expensive. Just go back to your local, what you used to eat in the village.
Okay.
The natural, fresher foods, that's what we are more interested in.
But Doc, you know something? The amazing thing is, I think most of us, or the majority of us, have not had that village experience. I mean, now we
Go and ask your grandmother. Go and ask your grandfather.
Well,
I won't accept it as an excuse. The village is still there. If you've not got them, go to the village and get the
many people are not introducing their children to grandparents. Everything is now in the cities.
Our culture is so rich.
We no longer attend festivals. We no longer attend family meetings. Those kind of gatherings.
And although I'm talking medicine here, if you're not careful, we may lose our identity. So it's very important to go back to our traditions and our customs, which have served us so well over so many years. But that is beside the point.
Alright.
Another important thing is to reduce the salt that we eat. A very, very important thing. So that's one of the things we tell people, to cut down their salt. A lot of people, even before the food is on the table, they are pouring the salt. They've not tasted it. and they pour salt on before they even taste the food.
Oh, okay.
So it's very, very important.
So you must first check if you're a salt person. First check if the salt content in your food is appreciable, or it's okay before you add more.
If you go to the office and they serve the food, you can't have no choice. There's a lot of salt in it. You can't do anything about it. But where you can control it is in your house.
Okay.
So at home, you discuss whoever is preparing the meals or yourself. And it's a habit. Start early.
Okay.
Reduce the salt before you get the problem.
Okay.
So you get used to the taste because some people struggle a lot with that.
Okay.
But reducing salt is also part of the lifestyle changes you have to make if you are diagnosed as hypertensive.
Okay.
Finally, apart from other important things, we need to lose weight.
Losing weight.
Yes.
Wow.
You need to lose weight.
So it's like you want to mention my own.
Watch your mood. we need to lose weight.
Okay.
There's something we call the BMI. I don't want to bore you with the details, but the BMI essentially
body
says
mass index.
Oh, yeah, good.
Okay.
It essentially says that at your height, which is not going to change, what should be your ideal weight? In males at the age of 18, females a little earlier, their height is fixed. After the age of 18, most people do not grow anymore in terms of height.
Okay.
You will not grow taller, but you can grow wider. So the BMI is saying that at your height, what should your ideal weight be? Okay. So it's a calculation. Okay. And then there's a normal range. So it's just a guide to see what your weight should be. So try and be within the normal range. So these are the important things
we should
some of the lifestyle changes. And then if you are smoking, please stop smoking. Alcohol too, you need to cut down. Okay. All these things contribute to lifestyle changes. So somebody has been diagnosed with hypertension. These are the first things that we'll do.
You look out for
before we start medication.
Okay.
If you are doing all these things and you are very consistent with it, and still your BPs are high, then the medications come in.
Okay. So it means that even though the name sounds so huge or very confusing, we tend to call it Mojaboso in our local language. You can actually control it.
You can
actually control
the right measures.
And the fact that you have a family history doesn't necessarily mean you by all means get it.
No, it doesn't mean that.
Is there any percentage? If you get to hear that, I have a family history of hypertension. Is there any probability? Is there any percentage I should be looking out for? Maybe if it occurs this number of times in my family, then I'm most likely to also carry that gene or something.
To be honest, I don't have the figures.
Okay.
But we call something first degree relative.
Okay.
So first degree relative is your direct relative, like your mother, your father, your brother, your sister.
Okay.
So if the hypertension is in any of these people, the risk is
higher.
Okay. Than let's say maybe a grandfather or somebody a little more distant.
Okay.
And so I don't want to put figures on it. I don't have the figures, to be honest.
Okay.
But if it's in your family, just keep it at the back of your mind that you need to be extra cautious yourself.
Okay. If it is in your family, you must be watching out for it. Okay. Well, I'm just looking at the time and I'm imagining if we could even touch on diabetes. But hey, don't worry. If you are unable to touch on diabetes, we will definitely, Doc is available. I'm sure Doc can come around and then take us through diabetes also. And so we'd like to go on a quick commercial break. When we come back, it's what I did.
Alright, what's up people out there, what's up GH, what's up Africa, and what's up the world? It's your boy Ricky Fame and it's the test. Yeah, finally, I am here to tell you that within the apartment, yeah, I know you've waited for so long and you've been wondering when I will show you within the apartment. I'm here to break the good news to you that within the apartment is showing on Joe Eve TV online on the 19th of September 2020. You don't want to get it twisted, you don't want to miss it for anything. And one most important thing about this is that you get to be part of the show because there's going to be in-depth studio interactions. Within the apartment is showing on the 19th of September 2020, exactly 3 p.m. Yeah, 3 p.m. on the dot. So, Joe Eve TV online. You don't want to get it twisted, you don't want to miss it. Charlie, if you miss out, wait till you get. You got to make it time and watch within the apartment.
a lot, okay? But hey, don't worry. You can always watch this program again on our social media handles. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Hey, just go there, search for Joive Media, subscribe so that, and also click that notification button, okay? So anytime we upload, anytime you're on air, you get a feed and then you're able to join us. It's the Father's Lounge show and we inspire men onto responsible fatherhood. Charlie, this is the only program that is celebrating fathers every time. We are not waiting for Father's Day before we celebrate fathers, okay? So I hope you are also learning something from this program. So we are rounding up today's episode, and if you tuned in, we are discussing healthy lifestyle. My guest today, Dr. Victor Ekem from Kolebu Teaching Hospital, has taken us through hypertension, what causes hypertension, and how we can actually, resolve it or take care of ourselves so that we don't find ourselves in that kind of situation whereby you've earned all the money, you've made everything for your family, and then hypertension takes you away. Charlie, waiting you gain. Alright, so this segment is the what I did. Doc is going to share his experiences with us. Doc doesn't have hypertension. No. Okay. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. Okay. But he's going to share with us some of his secrets, what he's been doing to keep alive. Okay, to stay healthy. Doc, any apple for my viewers, for myself too.
So what I want you to take away is the things you do to prevent hypertension, or what I mentioned as the lifestyle interventions, which I mentioned previously. Okay. But importantly, I want to talk about the complications of hypertension, which is unfortunately what we see more often than not. We don't see what we do, but we see more of the complications. When you hear people getting a stroke, I'm sure you've heard of people having strokes. Stroke here, stroke there, they can't move one side of their body, they can't talk anymore. Hypertension is one of the leading causes of strokes.
Wow.
So a number of these people, if they have been found out earlier, their hypertension was well controlled, they may not have ended up with a stroke.
Wow.
Some of the types of strokes you can recover fairly well from. Other types, you are bedridden in your bed, and then you become, I wouldn't want to say a burden, but care is very difficult for the family. And I wouldn't want any father, after he has earned all the money, as you said, he can't enjoy it, in quotes, with his family because he's bedridden and can't move. So that's one of the complications of stroke. Hypertension is one of the leading causes of stroke. Now, kidney disease, which is on the rise. Hypertension in our environment is the leading cause of kidney disease.
Really?
So kidney disease, another section on its own. It's difficult to treat. If you catch it early, you reverse the cause that is causing it. That's the hypertension. You can prevent it from progressing to the stage where you need what we know as dialysis.
Okay.
So you need to catch it early. The same thing as I mentioned, stroke. Catch it early. That's the whole point of hypertension. Catch it early because most people don't even have symptoms. A few people have headaches, but most people won't have symptoms. So I've talked about strokes. I've talked about kidney disease. Then heart disease. Hypertension is also a leading cause of heart disease.
Wow.
And people going down what we call heart attacks. People going down what we call heart failure. Hypertension is a leading cause of that as well. So hypertension is a very dangerous disease.
Wow.
If you're able to handle hypertension well, it will reduce a big burden on us in the hospital, on the population, and there will be a big difference in Ghana's GDP, our economic growth, just by handling hypertension well. But the key is catch it early, catch it young, in quote, then you can do something reasonable about it, than when they come down with the complications.
So this one is not catch them young and they'll be lost forever. Okay, this is the other way around. Catch them young and terminate them forever.
Control them.
Control them forever.
What I want to add, as you mentioned the word terminate.
Okay.
Hypertension is controlled.
Oh, okay.
So some, especially on the radio, you hear, come for this medicine. I'll cure your hypertension for you. That is not medically correct.
Medically correct.
That's not medically correct.
Okay.
You need to control it. As I mentioned, there's a range. There's a normal range. So our target is to keep your blood pressure within that normal range.
Okay.
But if you hear somebody saying, I'll cure you of hypertension, please run as far away from the person as possible. I always tell my patients that if you hear something on radio and you are not sure, contact your nearest clinic, speak to your nurse, speak to your doctor, and let them explain it to you. An area I think we have failed as medical practitioners. We haven't engaged with the population very well. We haven't spoken to them at the level that they understand. We haven't spoken to them in a language that they understand. We have stood at the pulpit and are pontificating, but we need to be on the ground with them.
Grounds, listening to what is happening there.
Exactly, because some people, they want to live a healthy lifestyle, but they do not know how to. And then they listen to other people who unfortunately take advantage of them.
Exploitation.
Whew.
Don't ever fall into the hands of someone who wants to exploit you. I mean, it can be very devastating, okay? Thank you very much, Doctor. It's been wonderful having you on the set, and I think we all have to take a cue from this. And I remember this has really called this stroke issues, and one of popular actors we have Fifi Datsun, Home Sweet Home. Home Sweet Home. I mean, recently I got to understand that he's been ill for quite some time now, and I think it's stroke related. Fortunately, he's been able to come out to some extent, but hey, he's not as he used to be. And I mean, I felt so bitter, seeing him. A couple of others to Emmanuel Amma and the likes. I mean, this is really killing us, and I think we must address it head on. We must. Viewers, we must address it head on. Don't think that it is far from you. Like you heard us say, it's a silent killer. You might be sitting on a time bomb that you never know. So hey, right after watching this show, this episode, go and check your blood pressure. Okay? Go and check it. And I think now you don't even have to go to a hospital. Some of the pharmacies have the equipment to, they can run these tests for you.
Exactly, a lot of the pharmacies have it.
Okay.
But I would advise that it's good to go
to the hospital. Maybe the pharmacy can be the first point, and then as you know your state,
exactly,
can let them check your BMI for you, and then
yes, they can.
when you
BMI,
see
actually, you can check it at home.
At home.
You just need your weight and then your height.
So you need a scale. You need the
scale, and then just helps. Let's draw a line on the wall and measure your height.
Okay.
And then it's a formula I can share with you later. You can do it at home. You don't need to.
Babe, we are getting a scale, okay? We are going to weigh ourselves every morning, and we are going to check our BMI. All right, viewers, this is all time will allow us for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to send us your comments in the comment section, whether you are watching us on YouTube or Facebook. Okay, the name to look out for is Joive TV or Joive Media, and we will deliver your desire. All right, so my name has been William Iswan Sepa Prodigy 1. You see that thing? Same time next week, we come your way with another episode of the Father's Lounge Show. Don't go anywhere. Tell someone to, hey, always tune in. Sundays, 5:30 p.m. sharp. We'll be here. So, until we come your way same time next week, stay safe.